This is Plant-Based Briefing. Treat type 1 diabetes with a plant-based diet by Dr. Michael Greger at nutritionfacts.org. I'm Marian Erickson. This is the Plant-Based Podcast where I curate and narrate with permission a variety of articles on plant-based and vegan living in about 10 minutes or less every weekday. I'm thrilled to have permission from Nutrition Facts to share their amazing content. It was founded by Dr. Michael Greger. He's a physician, a New York Times bestselling author, and internationally recognized speaker on nutrition, food safety, and public health issues. It's a non-commercial, non-profit, science-based public service where they provide free updates on the latest in nutrition research via bite-sized videos. So they go through all of the latest nutrition research that's published in English, and they summarize it in bite-sized videos and blogs. It's a fantastic service. It's like the go-to place for nutrition information. There's a lot of confusing and conflicting nutritional advice out there, usually presented by people with a financial interest, and usually to be confusing and conflicting on purpose. So people throw up their hands and say, I don't know what to do. But Nutrition Facts summarizes the latest in peer-reviewed nutrition and health research with no conflicts of interest. There are no ads, no corporate sponsorships. It's just the facts. And also, he does publish books and he does speaking engagements, but 100% of all proceeds he's ever received from his books, DVDs, and speaking engagements have always and will always be donated to charity. So, amazing organization. And now let's get to today's plant-based briefing. Treat type 1 diabetes with a plant-based diet by Dr. Michael Greger at nutritionfacts.org. Is it possible to reverse type 1 diabetes if caught early enough? The International Journal of Disease Reversal and Prevention has already had its share of miraculous disease reversals with a plant-based diet. For instance, one patient began following a whole food plant-based diet after having 2 heart attacks in 2 months. Within months, he experienced no more chest pain, controlled his cholesterol, blood pressure, and blood sugars, and also lost 50 pounds as a nice bonus. Yet the numbers do not capture the patient's transformation from feeling like a dead man walking to being in command of his health with a new future and life. I've previously discussed cases of reversing the autoimmune inflammatory disease psoriasis and also talked about lupus nephritis, kidney inflammation. What about type 1 diabetes, an autoimmune disease we didn't think we could do anything about? In contrast to type 2 diabetes, which is a lifestyle disease that can be prevented and reversed with a healthy enough diet and lifestyle, type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease in which our body attacks our pancreas, killing off our insulin-producing cells and condemning us to a life of insulin injections, unless perhaps it's caught early enough. If a healthy enough diet is started early enough, might we be able to reverse the course of type 1 diabetes by blunting that autoimmune inflammation? As I discuss in my video, Type 1 Diabetes Treatment, a Plant-Based Diet, linked here, we know that patients with type 1 diabetes may be able to reduce insulin requirements and achieve better glycemic or blood sugar control with healthier diets. For example, children and teens were randomized to a nutritional intervention in which they increased the whole plant food density of their diet, meaning they ate more whole grains, whole fruits, vegetables, legumes, beans, split peas, chickpeas, and lentils, nuts, and seeds. Researchers found that the more whole plant foods, the better the blood sugar control. The fact that more whole fruits were associated with better glycemic or blood sugar control has important clinical implications for nutrition education in those with type 1 diabetes. We should be educating them on the benefits of fruit intake and allaying erroneous concerns that fruit may adversely affect blood sugar. The case series in the International Journal of Disease Reversal and Prevention, however, went beyond proposing better control of just their high blood sugars, the symptom of diabetes, but better control of the disease itself, suggesting the anti-inflammatory effects of whole healthy plant foods may slow or prevent further destruction of the beta cells, the insulin-producing cells of the pancreas, if dietary intervention is initiated early enough. Where did this concept come from? A young patient. Immediately following diagnosis of type 1 diabetes at age 3, a patient began a vegetable-rich diet and 3 years later has not yet required insulin therapy and has experienced a steady decline in autoantibody levels, which are markers of insulin cell destruction. Another child who also started eating a healthier diet, but not until several months after diagnosis, maintains a low dose of insulin with good control. And even if their insulin-producing cells have been utterly destroyed, individuals with type 1 diabetes can still enjoy dramatically reduced insulin requirements, reduced inflammation, and reduced cardiovascular risk, which is their #1 cause of death over the age of 30. People with type 1 diabetes have 11 to 14 times the risk of death from cardiovascular disease compared to the general population, and it's already the top killer among the public, so it's closer to 11 to 14 times more important for those with type 1 diabetes to be on the only diet and lifestyle program ever proven to reverse heart disease in the majority of patients, one centered around whole plant foods. The fact it may also help control the disease itself is just sugar-free icing on the cake. All this exciting new research was presented in the first issue of the International Journal of Disease Reversal and Prevention. As a bonus, there's a companion publication called the Disease Reversal and Prevention Digest. These are for the lay public and are also developed with the belief I wholeheartedly share that everyone has a right to understand the science that could impact their health. You can go behind the scenes and hear directly from the author of the Lupus series, read interviews from luminaries like Dean Ornish, see practical tips from dietitians on making the transition towards a healthier diet, and enjoy recipes. The second issue includes more practical tips, such as how to eat plant-based on a budget, and gives updates on what Dr. Clapper is doing to educate medical students, what Audrey Sanchez from Balanced is doing to help change school lunches, and how Dr. Ostfeld got healthy food served in a hospital. What a concept! And what magazine would be complete without an article to improve your sex life? The journal is free, downloadable at ijdrp.org, and its companion digest available at diseasereversaldigest.com carries a subscription fee. I am a proud subscriber. Want to learn more about preventing type 1 diabetes in the first place? See the related posts linked below. In summary, the International Journal of Disease Reversal and Prevention highlights successful cases of disease reversal through plant-based diets and is accessible for free at ijdrp.org. A patient avoided further heart issues, controlled cholesterol, blood pressure, and blood sugars, and lost weight by adopting a whole food plant-based diet, transforming his health outlook significantly. Unlike type 2 diabetes, type 1 diabetes, which is typically considered to be irreversible, shows promising responses to early dietary interventions focused on whole plant foods, potentially halting autoimmune destruction of insulin-producing cells. Research emphasizes that increasing whole plant foods can improve blood sugar control in type 1 diabetes, challenging misconceptions about fruit intake and its impact on blood sugar levels. And the journal and its companion publication, Disease Reversal and Prevention Digest, aim to educate the public on accessible, evidence-based health strategies, from practical diet tips to groundbreaking disease management approaches. You just listened to Treat Type 1 Diabetes with a Plant-Based Diet by Dr. Michael Greger at nutritionfacts.org, and I'm Marian Erickson, your host. I've done a ton of other episodes on diabetes, but some in particular related to type 1 diabetes include 800 Can Going Dairy-Free Help with Blood Sugar Control by Tiffany Bruno at switchforgood.org, 801 The Incredible Benefits of a Plant-Based Diet for People with Type 1 Diabetes from forksoverknives.com, 802 Vegan Diet Lowers Insulin Needs for Type 1 Diabetic Patients, again from Forks Over Knives, and 882 and 883 Autoimmune Diseases and Diet. Here's what you need to know, again from Forks Over Knives. So please share this episode with anyone who might benefit, and thanks for listening.